Session podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.
Hey, Jamsters. Thanks for pressing play, and welcome to a Sunday morning edition of the Suns Jam Session podcast. Yes, Matthew's favorite time to pod. 10 a.m. on Sundays, right?
It actually is. It's better than Sunday night. Sunday night pods are depressing as hell.
Sunday afternoon pods, I think, are the worst. Like when the Suns play at like noon, and then you have to watch a game, and then if they lose, you're sitting there being like, okay, cool. The Suns just lost. It's 3 p.m. We're going to have to do this till 4:30 for me because I have to like post all the bullshit, all the good stuff, so you can listen to the podcast. And then you're like, okay, I wasted my day. The Suns lost, and I feel crappy. And, tomorrow's Monday.
Yeah. No, I know it's the worst. I think anything on Sunday, I just want to relax, but getting it done early, I do appreciate it. Like the old Dave pods, like those are my favorite Sunday mornings too. Like, oh yeah, whenever I could join or whatever. So
yeah, and I will say, once this is done, I will relax. I'll go and I'll probably take a nap because I was up all night. You ever make a bad decision where you have like 5 beers and you get Jack in the Box delivered to your house and you eat it and then
that's what I did last night.
Up all night with bubble guts.
Yeah, I did that last night. Actually, I went out and had a few beers. I came back and I ordered Sonic, and I scarfed it down in the other room because Nicole right now, she is like, I don't think anybody knows, but she's 12 weeks pregnant and she does not want anything in the room. So I had to go downstairs by myself and eat really quick and then come back up.
In the dark, just smash. What'd you get from Sonic?
I just got a bacon cheeseburger. I kind of don't remember. And then I got I think tater tots. So
nice.
Bacon and cheese on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I smashed on some Jack in the Box after 5 beers. I was on the Aussie Suns fan podcast.
Yeah, I was on
last
there
night. Yeah, I saw you. I saw you in the chat. You were having a good time.
Any sense, dude.
You delete that comment. But yeah, I was having a good time, and then I was like, you know what? I'm hungry. I'm gonna go ahead and get some Jack in the Box. And I smashed on it, and then I went outside, killed a couple scorpions, and then came inside and went to bed. And in fact, I watched a movie last night.
Did you?
I watched Draft Day with Kevin Costner until like 1:30 in the morning.
We were watching Field of Dreams yesterday with Kevin Costner.
I love
That's
that
so random
movie. It was Kevin Costner Day, and we didn't even know it or communicate it to each other, and it made us both feel sick. So it's nice to do a Sunday morning pod, and obviously this is one that we've probably put off. We probably could have done earlier this past month, as we're at the back end of June now, but it's the annual JAMMY Awards, something that we do every year. We do them in the preseason. We do them at the end of the year, and then it's kind of fun to compare what we thought at the beginning of the season and obviously where we landed and how horribly wrong we were on everything. And we typically do this before the season ends or the postseason ends, but with everything relative to Kevin Durant and understanding free agency and all the options that lied before the Suns this offseason, we opted to spend more time focusing on those subjects. And now we're just trying to get this in real quick before free agency starts. And the roster is completely different because obviously we're talking about the 2024-2025 Suns with and the NBA with our JAMMY Awards. So, if you're new to this, again, welcome. We have some interesting categories that we like to grade and predict, and both for the Suns and for the NBA. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about our preseason predictions and then where we landed with certain players and our predictions. But with all that being said, you can't start it off without an intro. So are you ready to kick off the jammies?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Definitely ready.
You're here we go with his coffee. Adorable. Ladies and Jamsters, welcome to the JAMMY Awards. That's right. The 2025 JAMMY Awards are now in session. And again, the way that I'm going to do this is I'll start off the award. I'll talk about who the award was given to in the preseason for both the Suns and the NBA, and then our end-of-year JAMMY Award winners. Every one who gets one of these awards is mailed a $5 gift card to Target. It actually costs more for the postage than the actual gift card itself, and we hope that the recipients take this seriously, especially considering it's addressed with a big smiley face on the front, so they don't know what to expect. All right, without further ado, here we go. Our first award. The Acid Jeans Award for the guy
who's the most washed.
Hey, Gilmore, you suck, you jackass.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, I spent 2.5 hours
Drops.
yesterday redoing
I'm glad
all
I'm
this
here
shit.
for this one.
All right, so Ask the Genes Award. Who's the most washed guy? Preseason, my prediction was Josh Okogie for the Phoenix Suns and Russell Westbrook for the NBA. Josh Okogie, obviously being traded during the season. I don't think we had an opportunity to see that play out to fruition, but he did go to Charlotte. He did get injured. He didn't play much over there. So I don't know if he's necessarily washed, but I felt he was washed with the Suns. Russell Westbrook isn't washed. He's going to be a free agent. Obviously, tomorrow being free agency, he's a name to keep an eye on. But when I look at where I landed at the end of the season, Damian Lee gets the 2025 JAMMY for being the most washed. And it's unfortunate because I was very high on him at the beginning of the season. And I thought that this was an opportunity for him to really come in post-injury, light up the scoreboard, had the exact skill set of what we need. Somebody who could spread the floor, and fill the Eric Gordon role, which he ultimately never did. And then from an NBA level, Matthew, I went with Damian Lillard because obviously his Achilles injury, which is prevalent in the NBA right now, I don't know if we'll see Damian Lillard back, or at least in the same capacity that he has been in the past. And so for those reasons, he is washed and gets the Ask the Gene Award winner in 2025 for me.
Yeah, I like that one. And I think even with that team healthy with Damian Lillard, I never liked the fit. So I'm anxious to see what they do with that team now that the offseason has come around. For me, though, I think with the Suns this year in the beginning, I thought it was going to be Bol. And I'm actually going to stick with that, too. I'm going to say at the end of the year,
that's not a bad one.
I don't think so either, because he let me down a lot. I was going to say Kevin Durant for other reasons. I'm sick of his shit. So, but I'm going to go with Bol just because he let me down. He had opportunity. I know a lot of people say he didn't get minutes. How come he didn't play? It's like he had his chances, and he was just kind of messing around out there. He wasn't anybody you could take seriously again this year. And for me to be a big Bol fan the year previous to last year, I don't know. I don't know what to say, Bol, man. Like you let me down and everybody else, I feel like, because if you're not going to do it this last season, you're never going to do it. So
do you think he'll be back this upcoming season?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want him to be. I have a feeling he will be, though. I just don't want him to be. What do you think?
I feel like the rumor mill right now has him going to Detroit. I don't think he'll be back. I don't think Bol will be back. I think he did just enough and created just enough intrigue to allow teams around the NBA to try to kick the tires on him a little bit, and those who can offer him more than a veteran minimum, because that's all the Suns could offer him, are going to do so, and he's going to take it. And, RIP the Bol era in Phoenix, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it had its peak there, and it was the most fun we had the last 2 years. So, Bol, you get that. Anytime he came out on the floor, it was the most fun that the crowd had, and they were pretty much roaring his name every time he had the ball, or even when he was on the bench telling the coach to put him in. So
that's fucking depressing, by the way. The most exciting the thing that's the most exciting is the fact that Bol played. That just lets you know the state of the Suns the last 2 seasons.
Oof. Yeah, it was disgusting. For the NBA, though, I had Klay Thompson going into the season. I'm going to stick with Klay Thompson on this one, actually. So I kind of like my predictions that kind of panned out. I feel like Klay Thompson, just his field goal percentage is dipping every year. He's still getting decent minutes. He played 72 games this last season. Just someone you can't count on. He just doesn't have it anymore. And I'm going to stick with him. I don't think there really was anybody else out there that I was kind of sick of watching more than Klay Thompson.
Yeah, I don't necessarily argue with that one. I will say 14 points a game, shooting 39% from beyond the arc on 7.7 3-pointers. I don't know if that's necessarily washed, but defensively he's washed. And I guess if you're looking at it compared to who he was as a defender, he's nothing even close. But, so Bol, Klay Thompson, Damian Lee, Damian Lillard. That's who we have for our Ask the Genes Award winners. All right, on to the next award.
The Skeleton Key Award for the guy who unlocks the team.
There's nothing down there, you boob.
So the Skeleton Key Award for the guy who unlocks the team. Who do you have for the Suns on this one, Matthew?
For the Suns, God, these are tough, dude.
Yeah, like who unlocked the Suns this year?
I don't know.
So just so you know, like preseason, we both said Tyus Jones would be that guy. He got our preseason JAMMY Award for the skeleton key. Is that where you landed at the end of the season? Did Tyus Jones get it?
No.
No.
Dude, I have no idea. I'm gonna say Colin Gillespie too. I know you have him, but I'm gonna go with him only because the first thing that comes to my mind are just the time where he came in and won us a game, and we just seemed like we had a point guard with some confidence. So I'm gonna go with him.
And I agree with you on that one, Colin Gillespie, kind of for the same reasoning, because the only time the team ever truly felt unlocked are in minutes in which he played, which again fortifies the fact that this was such a shit season. And it's kind of nice doing this award show, allows us to pack in and get our last kind of few shots, like it's a UFC fight on this team, knowing that obviously we're post the draft and we're clearly heading in a different direction. But when you have, like equipment manager, fallen founder in the chat saying Colin Gillespie, Juan Carlos Arenada says agree, Colin Gillespie. We are all in that same headspace that, wow, when you think about it in those terms, who unlocked this team? Booker didn't. Durant didn't. Beal didn't.
No.
Tyus Jones didn't. Nobody did. I mean, you could make a case maybe for Oso Ighodaro at times, but, I mean, his head coach sat him on the bench for 2 months out of the season. So, and Colin Gillespie obviously didn't play the front end of the season, but when he had that opportunity at the back end, he unlock this team in some capacity, nothing drastic. And he's also a player who the Suns have tendered their two-way restricted free agent qualifying offer to him effective this morning. So we'll see if he takes that or if he goes on the market. But yeah, I agree with you. What about NBA? Who unlocked their team from an NBA standpoint?
Yeah, I'm going to say the NBA MVP runner-up and Jokic. I think Jokic, obviously, when he's off the floor, it's a hard thing to watch. But when he's on the floor, it's beautiful basketball. I think they kind of overachieved this year. I think after last season, they were Finals MVPs, or they were Finals favorites going into last year. This year, this passing year, I just feel like, they kind of fell off a little bit, but Jokic still had it. He's still a guy that might have taken the MVP if it wasn't for SGA just having a phenomenal season with the Thunder, and they just had to give it to him, right? But I think every year Jokic is the MVP. But what he does for that team still, just every year, it seems like he just improves drastically, like around all his, like everything that he can pull out of his bag. There's always new things. So I have to give it to him.
Yeah, I give it to SGA. I go with the actual MVP because I think that he took his team to another level, obviously winning the championship along the way. But I will say, and I don't feel like neither of those are outside the realm of possibility. Seth Logan Hopkins says, I would say Halliburton. And that one I feel is not a bad one at all either. I mean, all those teams had success because those guys unlocked their teams. How do you feel about saying that DeMar DeRozan would be the guy?
Oh my God! I tried to skip over that
to unlock the Kings.
I didn't want you to bring that up. I didn't want you. I was high on the Kings last year, winning a lot of games last year in the NBA during the regular season. Nothing to do in the playoffs. I didn't think they would make it to the Western Conference Finals, but I thought they'd be a good regular season team, and I thought DeMar DeRozan was going to. I'm going to leave that one alone. That's kind of my whole Ben Simmons stuff in the Brooklyn Nets the year before.
Yeah, there's one team you just get attached to, and you give them all the JAMMY Awards. Well, I had Mikal Bridges, and that obviously didn't work out. There were instances in which he played to the level that we would expect from Mikal Bridges, but he wasn't the Mikal Bridges. I know Knicks fans were like, what the fuck did we trade all this shit for? He's just kind of standing in the corner. And it wasn't until he really got comfortable that he played as a part of the team. But like Jalen Brunson's the guy who unlocked that team. So it's safe to say that we both whiffed on our Skeleton Key Award preseason distribution of a prize, of an award. But I think landing at Jokic and SGA at the end of the season, I think that's right. All right, next award.
The Terminator 2 Award, formerly the Mad Max Award, for the Comeback Player of the Year.
I know now why you cry.
So I got rid of the Mad Max Award, Matthew. I hope you're okay with that.
That's fine. That was the worst award.
Well,
no one understood it.
Yeah, no one understood it. And I think when you talk about Terminator 2, in my opinion, Terminator 2 is the best sequel ever made. It's better than the original easily, and my favorite movie as a kid. So no, I know why you cry. Oh, did Shannon tell you about the puppet show?
Yes, yeah. I was trying to look it up, and I had a hard time trying to find it and stuff, and like some pictures of it, but it seemed really interesting. It was the Predator versus Hook.
No. What was it? It was so it's a puppet show by the All Puppet Players, and it's on like Central and McDowell. And there's the big BMO building there, and they're kind of in this like space underneath the parking garage. It sounds really weird, but you go in, it's almost like ventriloquists, right? Like they've got their puppets, and then the guys who are holding them are dressed in all black, and they got microphones on so you can hear what they're saying. But we went and we saw Predator, but the story plot was infused with Hook, essentially. So it was like Arnold Schwarzenegger going into the jungle to try to get his kids, Jack and the Predator's kind of like Hook. It was hysterical. It's like NC-17. It's fucking hysterical. And they do Die Hard every Christmas. And like the moment those tickets go on sale, I'm going to try to buy as many as I want or as I can, and then sell them to you guys because everybody should come and see the shit. It's fucking hysterical.
I want to go. I definitely want to go. And I looked up tickets, man. Like they're like sold out for quite a while.
It's amazing. And I just brought that up because Terminator 2, in Predator, there's Arnold, and the guy had the puppet of Arnold just running. He's like, hey, it's just so fucking funny. But all that being said, Terminator 2 award, the comeback player of the year. I was really high for the Suns on Damian Lee, as were you. We both had him as the comeback player of the year for the Suns. Didn't work out. I didn't know who to really give this one to, so I went and I gave it to Nick Richards. Just because I knew nothing about him last year. And then he became a Sun, and I enjoyed watching him. Who did you give it to for the Suns, knowing that you gave it to Damian Lee in the preseason?
So, after giving it to Damian Lee, that was kind of a letdown. I think it's because we watched one preseason game before we did the Jammies, and he was just like netting all these threes.
Yes.
I think that's what happened. We were like, all right, this guy's ready to roll. I'm going to give it to Mason Plumlee. The reason is, I feel like he did a decent job this year. I think he kind of held it down in the backup center position when he had to, and he did what he could. I don't think he did anything special, but I think he did just enough to be a decent role player on this team, a guy that you could usually count on, someone that I wasn't like, oh, this motherfucker's playing. So I was excited for him to be in the game, or actually maybe I was pretty neutral when he was in the game and just okay with what was going on the court when he was on the court. So I liked what he brought to this team this year. I always still want to hear. Before he would join the Suns, he was like, what's up with that team? Now he joined the Suns, and I want to hear from him, like, what is up? What was going on behind the scenes? Why was the aura so bad? But yeah, I give it to him for sure.
They had no Riz. I mean, that was the issue, man. No cap. I don't disagree with that. He was neutral. He was neutral, and I guess that's all that matters. If you look at the NBA six-man, I said great – did I? No. Lonzo Ball was my prediction. Comeback player of the year. I thought he was going to have a much better year than he had. He had a decent year. He just got traded to Cleveland, which I think is interesting because that's somebody I thought.
Holy shit. Was that today?
Nah, it's 24 hours ago. It's before your Sonic. They traded him for Isaac Okoro, kind of straight up. And he's somebody I wanted. I wanted the Suns to trade like Royce O'Neal for him because the money would work and we need a distributor very, very, very
I had that
badly.
dialed up too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. That's really weird for the Cavs, though. I wonder why.
Well, it makes sense because Ty Jerome's not going to be there next year, right? Like this is a signal that Ty Jerome will not be with Cleveland as their backup.
Okay.
Point guard. So
and of course he has size too as a point guard too. That whole team is just has size. It's incredible.
Yeah. I wish we had that size.
Oh, good stuff. Good for him. I know. Me too.
So my Terminator 2 award winner for the NBA, Cade Cunningham, really took it to a next level this last season. And I don't know if he won comeback or sixth man of the year or comeback player of the year. I don't know who won it, but he got my vote. Who do you have?
I'm gonna do Halliburton. I saved him for this
Good
one
call.
because I just feel like if you guys remember, he was the most overrated player. He wasn't really on anybody's radar this season. Early in the season, he had a tough time kind of getting back on track. Got off of social media. And then later in the season, obviously put on quite the show to really get his team back to kind of where they were the year before. Didn't expect the run that he had in the playoffs, but I mean that kind of just confirms like this guy is something way more special. And if he was healthy, I feel like they would have beat the Thunder. I think they would have beat them in 6 games because he was hurt the last 4 games, basically. And if he didn't have that issue, I think this team with their steez, they would have actually overcame them and got that trophy. So I give it to him, man.
I don't disagree. I think that's a good one too. Breaking news from Shams Charania. 3-time NBA All-Star Julius Randle intends to sign a new 3-year, $100 million contract to stay with Minnesota. Just throwing it out there. It is that time of year. The notifications are set to on. Before we go on to the next award, Joe Cool has some questions in the chat. Why did that video leak of Rich Paul talking to Ishbia about Malawach being Suns' #1 option? Why did we trade for Williams? Why did LeBron just opt in and say he's uncertain about the roster? A lot of questions there, Joe Cool. I'll say this. Why did the video leak of Rich Paul to Ishbia about Malawach being on the Suns? I think that, it's probably one of those situations where it's self-promotion almost to a certain extent because, he's showcasing that he is a good agent, right? Like, I think that I was more interested that he was talking to Ishbia than he was talking to Brian Gregory, right?
Yeah, and the thing is with Rich Paul, too, I was going through his client list like 2 nights ago, and I know he has LeBron and a few guys on there, but that have won a championship. But I feel like a lot of those guys, I'm like, are they even like championship rostered players? Like, the thing that worries me about him is like he puts the player first in front of the team a lot, and I don't think that really helps, obviously, with the chemistry. So that kind of really worries me. But Malawach doesn't seem like a guy that gives a fuck. I think he has a good agent, but he's going to go in obviously and play whatever the Suns want him to play. Backup role starter. So I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah, I'm not either. And I'm trying to find. Let's see if I have this.
LeBron to the Suns though. Like that.
People have been saying that. People have been saying that shit forever, man.
Years. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna do the Malawach drop, but I haven't uploaded and I can't find it on my computer. I'm gonna debut it here.
Oh, poop.
But why did we trade for Williams? Because we wanted size, and clearly we want to do that. And Malawach, he's 19 years old. He's not going to be a starting franchise center yet. Got to give him 2 to 3 years to really mature into what he's going to be. So why not have somebody who is a mentor to him? I completely agree with that. And why did LeBron opt in and say he's uncertain about the roster? Because LeBron does that every fucking year. Hope you enjoyed our answers. It's time for our next award.
The Matthews Dad Award for the 6th man.
That last 3, he looked around. He was going to be like the new Devin Booker and find somebody. He like, man, fuck this.
Fuck this. 6th man, Phoenix Suns. Who'd you have to start the year, and who are you giving it to end the year?
So I had Grayson Allen to start the year. I don't know if that really panned out. These are just really tough, man. I think
the season was tough.
Yeah, I think for what it's worth, I think Grayson Allen held his own. I think he was decent this year. I know there were some injuries and stuff, but he was a guy that before you can rely on as a starter. Being a bench player is just not the same player. I can't go with that, so I'm going to go with my guy, Mason Plumlee. I think that he did a decent job off the bench, man. I really am high on the guy. I don't obviously care for him where he goes or if he ever came back to the Suns, but I just think that his season was pretty stellar to me. So I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, I had Grayson Allen just like you, and I ended with Bradley Beal. I mean, didn't play a ton, but when he made the move to the bench, I think the Suns, it was obviously in January, the team was playing subpar competition and it aligned with the time frame in which he went to the bench. But at the same time, I feel like he was productive off the bench. And I wonder going into next season, if he's still on the roster, if that's the strategy that Jordan Knott will execute. It's like, hey, you got Jalen Green and Devin Booker as your starting backcourt. Brad, you're coming off the bench again. Okay. And if so, he has the potential to be a 6-man kind of candidate. He has the scoring prowess. And he was a great offensive player off the bench. So that's who gets it for gets the official 2025 JAMMY Award. God, I'm not even updating the things here. There you go. Matthews Dad Award. Matthews Dad Award winner is Bradley Beal for me. From an NBA level, preseason, who'd you have? Malik Monk?
Yeah, I had Malik Monk. Yeah. And
he gets it?
No, I'm going to give it to Pritchard. I mean, you kind of got to have to, right?
Yeah, and
I
he
mean,
was
there's no
he was
doubt.
insane.
He was
coming
incredible.
off the bench.
I don't really want to swerve and go anywhere else. So
I have Peyton Pritchard as well. I had Grayson Allen for sixth man. Matthews Dad Award winner for the NBA as well. I really thought that he was going to excel in his role. Obviously didn't. And I completely agree with you on Peyton Pritchard from the Boston Celtics. All right, next award.
The Bob Gunton Award for the best defensive player.
Put your trust in the Lord. Your ass belongs to me.
All right. Who did you have preseason Bob Gunton Award winner? This is interesting for the Suns. A lot of hope on this pick, huh?
Yeah, so Devin Booker was my original pick going into the season. I thought he would take a step up. Obviously, the worst year that Booker had in a while for the Phoenix Suns. I mean, the stats look okay. They're decent. They're good. They're Booker stats. But they just was like not the same guy. And he didn't improve at all on defense. I feel like the whole team had a terrible time on defense, obviously, from the top down. But I'm going to give it this year, and you guys would be surprised. I'm going to give it to Kevin Durant because I feel like it was the one guy that would step up and actually play like impactful defense when we needed it at times. Obviously, he was kind of up and down, but when he played defense, man, he really could tell that the rest of the team kind of looked up to him in a way and kind of followed in line, but it wasn't consistent enough. But I just have to give it to KD.
Wow, Kevin Durant gets an award posthumously, right? Like, because he's already dead. My preseason guy was Ryan Dunn for the Suns, and I give it to Ryan Dunn. And I don't think he's as good as of a defender as people think he is. I think that there's a lot. Again, all of these conversations that we're having showcase how horrible the Suns team was, and to say like you're the best defender on a shit team isn't something you should be proud of. I'll tell you who will be the best defensive player on the team next year.
Malawatch.
I found it. There you go. Preview, people. It's not 8 and watch. It's Malawatch. But Ryan Dunn gets it for me just because, again, this team was horrible. 27th in defensive rating? It's hard to pick the sexiest defender on a shitty defensive team. We both had Wemby for the NBA Bob Gunton Award winner in the preseason. Obviously, Wemby gets hurt. Who do you give it to officially for the 2025 season?
I'm going to give it to Jaren Jackson Jr. I think that he had a huge year. I think a lot of people really aren't high on him anymore because we don't know what's going on with Memphis, but I think he's the best player on the team. He doesn't rebound, obviously, but defensively, I think he's a menace. He can actually play the perimeter inside. He's long. Obviously, we know who he is because the Suns could have probably drafted him over DeAndre Ayton, but he obviously, I think he is the dude in the NBA. It would have been Wemby if he was healthy. I think he's obviously going to be the shoe-in every year for the Defensive Player of the Year award. But the fact that he got hurt, you just can't give it to him, I don't think.
Yeah, he doesn't qualify in my jammy qualifications. I give it to Lou Dort. I just think that what he did on that team this season was guard 1 through 4, lock down guys in a manner that is just ridiculous. It's a question that I've posed is, do you think that he's a product of his environment or that he could replicate it elsewhere? I think there's aspects he could replicate elsewhere, but I think that if he goes somewhere else and gets paid an exorbitant amount of money, there's going to be expectations from that fan base to provide scoring with it, which he can to a certain extent, but it's not really his game. But from a defensive standpoint, like there's nobody you want more than a Lou Dort type. So, I mean, if you put Lou Dort and your JAMMY Award winner for the Bob Gunton Award together in Jaren Jackson Jr. on a team, that's a fucking scary situation for the opposition, right?
Yeah. No, it is. It definitely is. That team is just perfect all around. It's so upsetting, but
it's hard to score.
You can tell that they're actually beatable, though. Yeah, but they're still beatable, which is nice. Yeah.
All right, on to the next one.
All right, next
the Surprise the Fuck Out of You Award for the guy who surprised the fuck out of you.
Surprise, surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise, 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 motherfucker.
Ciao. ¿Qué onda, pendejo? Surprise, surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise, motherfucker.
This is the time I'm going to tell you that if you're listening with kids in the car, you probably shouldn't. I tell you after the fact. You should never. You never know what we're going to say. All right. So the guy that I predicted preseason for the Phoenix Suns to surprise me was Oso Ighodaro. And he is a candidate for this at the back end. If anybody says that they were surprised by Oso Ighodaro at the end of the season, that's who you want to give the surprise the fuck out of you award to. I wouldn't be opposed. But for me, again, it's Colin Gillespie. I think that I was truly surprised with what he brought to this team. And again, I don't know if that's a product of the fact that this team lacked hustle, grit, and tenacity, and he brought all three of those characteristics to the floor when he played, or the fact that when I saw him, I'm like, you know what? This could be somebody who we hold on to somewhat long term and have as a TJ McConnell type, because that plays in the NBA. So who'd you have preseason for the Suns, and who did you give the surprise the fuck out of you award at the end of the season 2, Matthew?
Well, preseason was Mason Plumlee, and I already told you he won a few awards already, so I can't give it to him again. I think he held up his end for sure. Didn't do anything too crazy to where I'm like, all right, he really surprised me. I think it's got to be Colin Gillespie too. And the fact that, so many Suns fans want him back just shows the impact he had on last year. He was the one thing that really kind of sold me on the Suns, just to sit there and kind of watch, because it was hard to sit and watch those games unless if he was on the bench. When he was in the game, you wanted to have your eyes on the TV, and you just didn't know what he was going to do out there. So,
and that's surprising.
It has to be him.
That's surprising.
It is. He's the one guy we're like, where's he at? He was like the Kevin Durant of the Suns last year. It was like when he's on the floor, you're like, oh, we're going to win this game. That's what you felt.
Newsflash, we didn't win those games, but still we were competitive, which is important. Looking at it from an NBA level, we both had Tyrese Maxey as the guy we thought was really going to surprise us. Injury plagued him too, and obviously that team ended with the number 3 overall pick because of how many injuries they had to deal with, both to him, Paul George, and to Joel Embiid. So from an NBA level, I did not give it to Tyrese Maxey. I gave it to Amen Thompson, because I feel like entering the season, not a lot of people knew about Amen Thompson. I knew the name. Him and Asur Thompson went 3, 4, 4, 5 in the drafts that they were in a couple seasons ago. So I knew he existed. But it was one of those things when I watched us play Houston, and that team ran us. I think we lost to them 4 times this season. They ran us out of the gym. I was like, Amen Thompson, I was not familiar with your game, and it surprised the fuck out of me. So, Amen Thompson from an NBA level. Thoughts on that, and who do you have, Matthew?
Yes, solid pick. And the only thing with Maxey, I think I was just surprised with his new haircut. I mean, he just looked like a different player. I'm going to give it to Donovan Mitchell this year. And I think I'm surprised because obviously that team and how well they played. You didn't know how it was going to work with the bigs and Mobley and
Jared Allen.
What is his name? Jared Allen. Those two guys, like, you didn't know how it was going to mesh. It meshed well. But also the one key factor was Donovan Mitchell just continued to stay there, give effort, and wanted to play there. There was always kind of the rumor of him not wanting to be there. But he made it his team, and he was the superstar of that team. So I have to give it to him.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick either.
Like
that team surprised the fuck out of us. I don't think anyone saw Cleveland.
Yeah,
especially when they started as hot as they did. We're like, okay, they're going to come back down there, and they didn't. They didn't until the playoffs. So
the playoffs they burnt out.
Next award,
the Uncle Jesse Katsopoulos Award for the best hair.
Mercy.
All right, best hair, Matthew. Preseason, you gave this one to Tyus Jones. Are you sticking with Tyus Jones' hair as your best hair on the Suns?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to his hair. I'm going to give him one award, and I think it's going to stick with the hair just because it's not the best look, So I think it's the one that catches my eye the most, and it's not in a good way. It's just, it's just like keep it up, man. Like I don't know what's really going on with it, but yeah.
Well, I gave mine to Damian Lee. And I end with Bol Bol because I feel like Bol Bol had the most versatile hair this year. I just thought that he did a lot of things with it, and I liked what I saw. On the NBA level, you gave it to D'Angelo Russell. Are you sticking with that one?
I am. Yeah, the Daenerys Targaryen look from Game of Thrones. I'm definitely sticking with him, dude. I didn't see anything else out there. I was like, what the hell was that? Like, there wasn't anything that was worthy of it.
Would you rewatch Game of Thrones?
No,
I don't think I would either.
You?
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
is it because of the ending or just because it's so slow? Okay.
It's slow, and then the payoff is so bad because you just know how shittily it ended, right? I mean, Game of Pizzones was a thing, and it was fun.
Game of Pizzones?
Yeah, man. When we used to just order Pizzones and watch Game of Thrones, man. Wow, I do have a bad diet.
See,
but yeah, I don't think I could rewatch it.
That was my peak, though. The Game of Zones era, definitely in my life. Didn't get any better than that. I think that.
Hope Nicole's not listening.
Remember when they used to? Yeah, I know. Remember when they used to? When they were making the show, they like sped it all up. They were like working overnights and stuff, like right before COVID. It was so strange, dude. It's like they knew COVID was coming. It's like instead of winter was coming, like COVID is coming.
The show ended. COVID is coming. I think the show ended like 2 years before COVID, but you're probably right. No, it was just strange because like first season, the whole first like 3 seasons was just like them traveling. And then by the last couple seasons, they're like, I need to go to King's Landing. And the next thing they're like in King's Landing. You're like, whoa, what about the journey? Like it was all about the journey and the build up, I mean, the Red Wedding was amazing. So anyways, I would not rewatch Game of Thrones.
Really quick, the one part though that really screwed it up for me where I hated it was when they had one of those giants. Remember the giants that was on the other side of the wall?
Mm-hmm.
And it was inside of a hut smoking a hook or something. But I'm like, how did it fucking get in the hut?
Yeah,
like, did they lift it up? The door? Like, once I saw that shit, I was like, they're not thinking this shit out at all. And then there was always the Starbucks cups everywhere.
Yeah,
there was 2 episodes where there was a Starbucks cup on the floor. I'm like, that's not very realistic.
They got so lazy.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, Harden's beard was my pick for the best hair in the NBA preseason, and I'm gonna end with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler got really versatile with his hair too. Throwing different colors in there, tricking us on where he wants to go. Hey, you got a purple tone and it got some orange. Like, so. Anyways, that's what we got for that. Next award here. Let's see this one.
The Jules Winfield Bad Motherfucker Award for the guy you'd like on your side in a back alley brawl.
I want you to go in that bag and find my wallet.
Which one is it?
It's the one that says bad motherfucker.
I wish I could play you the audio that because I sat in one sitting and I just did all the audio snippets of this and I snipped them and I fucked up on that one and I was like, that was pretty funny. It's like the guy you like to have in the back alley with you, hang out, get a blowjob. Never mind, I'm sorry.
I just want to handing out VJs for $1.50. Yeah,
in the back. Who'd you like to get a blowjob from in the back alley?
Happy Sunday morning to everybody.
I love Sunday mornings. I can't wait to take a nap. All right, so you had Grayson Allen.
Yeah.
Both for the Suns and the NBA.
I think these ones were
for the Bad Motherfucker Award. Tell me about that. Tell me about that thinking and tell me if that's where you landed at the end of the season.
Yeah, no, I didn't land there, but my thinking was, I wasn't really high on the Suns. I think I projected them 5th seed, but I thought we needed obviously a guy that can come in here, come off the bench, and just kind of be forceful, be a bad motherfucker. And I think Grayson had to be that guy for us to be good and to like kind of prove a point because we were a very soft team this last year, and it didn't happen at all. He was far from it. I didn't even notice him this year half the time. So. Yeah, it had to do maybe with his big bazooka guns as well. So
yeah, we were definitely thrown off by the preseason gun show.
Yeah, I didn't like it. No.
Yeah, so who do you give it to for the Suns now?
For the Suns, I'm gonna have to give it to maybe this is a tough one, but I'm gonna have to give it to just because he's the only guy that really did anything this year to kind of step up for the Suns at times and talk shit. It was Kevin Durant. Whether it was our white centers or the smallest guy on the other team, he was the one guy stepping up for the Suns at times to talk shit. So that's the only guy that stuck out for me.
Yes, yeah, I feel like the only shit talking he ever did was to the fan base. I went preseason. I had Royce O'Neal, but I'm going Mason Plumlee. Like he got ejected from games for like throwing bows, consecutive games. So remember, it was like the 3rd game where like, hey, is he going to do 3 in a row? So I give it to Mason Plumlee. So Grayson Allen for the NBA for you. Who gets it for the NBA now?
For the NBA, I'm gonna have to give it to my boy. I think you have him too, Dylan Brooks. He's a guy that should have been in China, but he was the madman over there in Houston, held it together, had a really good season, improved offensively, but he was still a bad motherfucker. I don't know if it's real or not. I don't know if that's a real attitude he has, but the character he plays, whether it's WWE or not, I enjoy it, and I think that he's fun for the league.
Yeah, he reminds me of a WWE guy. Like his drop will probably be the Stone Cold Steve Austin music, just dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. Draymond Green is who I had preseason. Yeah, I give it to Dylan Brooks, newest member of the Phoenix Suns, because he helped that team with his toughness and his grit and his ability to just get in people's face annoyingly, help them be a positive team that was the number 2 seed in the NBA. And it's one of the byproducts of the Kevin Durant trade is the fact that now we get Dylan Brooks and we get to go through that experience, good, bad, or indifferent. But, welcome to the team, to the Jules Winfield Bad Motherfucker Award winner for the NBA from both of us, Dylan Brooks. All right, a couple more words to go here.
Love you, Dylan.
Love you, Dylan.
The Beer Crack Award.
Let's pop open this beer.
For your favorite player.
Some old podcasts on there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. We've been through a lot, man. All right, Beer Crack Award, favorite player. So I had Devin Booker for the Suns, and that's where I landed. Preseason's where I land postseason, but Devin Booker's still my favorite member of the Phoenix Suns. You had him preseason as well. Is that where you landed? Or do you have
I'm gonna
favorite
go
player on the Suns?
I don't know.
Jalen Green.
I'm gonna have to give it to Booker. Man, I'm just saying they're tough. Like the explanation of it, it's just like, where do I even go? Where do I even reach for? I'm just gonna leave it at Devin Booker. All right,
fair enough.
That's all I can say.
He's the greatest son of all time. He passed Walter Davis this year for most points ever.
Yeah,
it's almost blasphemy. What's interesting always is our NBA Beer Crack Award winner, our favorite player who's not a member of the Phoenix Suns. I had Paolo Banchero at the front end of the season. And by the end of the season, man, Cade Cunningham really was somebody I enjoyed watching. Paolo had the injuries in Orlando, and the way that he plays his game it's different, and I think it's something I've enjoyed. But watching Cade and his ability to slice and dice opposing defenses, be a score-first guard if need be, but can distribute. He's long. I really enjoyed watching that Detroit Pistons team kind of throughout the season, and especially in the postseason. And that's why he gets my Beer Crack Award for 2025. You had Anthony Edwards. Do you remain with Anthony Edwards as your Beer Crack Award winner at the end of the season?
Anthony Edwards to me, man, there's something missing with the dude. Like he plays it good. He has his shirt off. He puts up good stats. He
He's
has
got
some
the biggest
big
dick ever, apparently.
I guess he has a bigger dick than everybody else. But there's something just missing with the dude where he's not going to be the guy we think he is. Like it's kind of like, like Hercules in a way where he's just not in Olympia yet because he's still a little bit human. Like he just has like that little bit of sliver that's just like, I don't know what it is. Like he's in the Western Conference Finals every year, but there's just something missing to his game, his attitude, the way he looks. Like I just don't get it. I can't understand it yet. And I just can't put my finger on it, but he's not obviously the guy that I enjoyed watching this year. I watched a lot of Rockets this year, so I'm going to give it to Amin Thompson. Okay. I feel like he was the one guy, we talked about him earlier, but he just stuck out. Every time I'd watch him, like, oh, dude, what's this? Like, give him the ball. Obviously, he had a hard time figuring it out towards the end of the year. There was a lot of pressure on him. He doesn't have the best ISO game, and he can't really get his own shot yet, but he was really intriguing to watch, especially on fast breaks and shit, and how quick he was to get to the rim. He was an amazing player to watch. That really stuck out to me.
Yeah, especially on the defensive end. Yeah, on Anthony Edwards, this is a conversation I have with one of my buddies kind of semi-consistently because he's a huge Anthony Edwards guy. And, it's funny when I have a conversation with this guy, he's one of those guys when you talk to him, he's like, well, statistics don't tell the whole story. And that's kind of like, and whenever we talk about things, I'll pull up statistics and talk through it. But like, well, statistics are a signal of production, and production's what matters. But when it comes to the Anthony Edwards conversation, like that's my response to him. I'm like, yeah, statistics don't tell the whole story. It's what I see when I watch him. He's got a cockiness to him. He's got a bravado to him. But as you mentioned, 2 Western Conference Finals, and he shrinks in those. Like he's nowhere. And I get that you're playing the best opposition in your conference, and they're focused on you. But my friend says, well, he's the closest thing to Jordan I've seen since Michael Jordan. And I'm like, nah, man, like I think Kobe Bryant's the closest thing we've seen to Jordan since Jordan. Maybe Anthony Edwards could be on that trajectory. But again, to your point, I'm missing something. And I think what made Jordan great and what made Kobe a top 10 player, not a top 5 or 3 player, everybody out there, I was going back and forth. That was my battle last weekend. I said on Twitter, I'm like, Kobe Bryant's the most overrated player because he is. Everyone's like, he's top 3, he's top 5. I'm like, he's top 10. Like, I can name 10 players in the NBA, in NBA history who are better than Kobe Bryant, in my opinion. But what they both had that Anthony Edwards lack is that killer instinct, that ability to finish when everybody knows that you're going to have the ball, to be the guy to step up. And, again, he's 22, 23 years old. There's still an opportunity for that. But to your point, like, I just haven't seen that. What he has is an immaturity to him that I don't feel Kobe or Jordan ever truly had.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a tough thing. Yeah, I think the post-game interviews and stuff, I think it's funny. Like, he has fun with it. But when I'm a fan and stuff, and I just feel like, you haven't won it yet, and he just seems like he's very relaxed. Like, I mean, he can enjoy himself. It's fine. But there's just something I'm just like, ugh. Like, a lot of people are like, I don't like he's a cocky guy. I don't like that. It's not that. It's just there's something that he's just not getting yet. There's just something that where I don't know what he needs, but he needs to talk to somebody. He has to have some kind of moment this offseason where maybe he meets with somebody like a mentor to really push him to the next spot, because I feel like he needs that, like a humbling or something like that. Obviously, losing the Western Conference Finals twice in a row, that's humbling enough, but there's something that you have to do to really get to the next level, and I don't know what that is yet.
Yep, time will tell. Time will tell. All right, one last award to dish out.
The Big Dick Booker Award for the MVP.
All right, Suns MVP preseason. I said Devin Booker, and I'm going to go Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was the best member of the Suns this past year. You had Booker as your preseason MVP for the Suns. Does he get the MVP for you to end the season?
No, I think I'm going with Kevin Durant. But based off of stats.
Based off of stats, that's all I got. All right, so this is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah,
preseason Big Dick Book Award winner for the NBA. Matthew had drumroll, please. Ja Morant. Are you going to give it to Ja Morant to end the season?
No, I mean, what's up with that dude? Where is he? He's missing something for sure. Will he ever get it back? I don't know. But he definitely didn't have that hop he had the year before, the gun charges and all that stuff. He's a totally different player, man. He's a guy that I don't trust. Before, I can kind of trust him a little bit, but he had that issue of finishing games off. He didn't help that again this year, where he doesn't finish any games for the Grizzlies in a good way of making the basket when it mattered. I'm gonna have to go with right now. I don't know, man. I think SGA is my guy. It has to be. And I think a lot of people will say, the foul baiting, all that stuff, it's fine. Like, I've always been a Harden supporter, not a fan. I was a supporter because he knew how to win, and then he obviously choked a lot. But he knew how to manage the referees, make sure he got his shots, make sure that he got to the rim, kept games close, hit the big shots when it mattered, slowed the game down. Like, SGA does it all to win, and it doesn't matter how good it looks. I just think he's a winner. So that's all that matters to me.
All right, so SGA it is. I gave it to Luka Doncic before the season began, and I end my season giving the Big Dick Booker Award NBA style to Nikola Jokic. I just think that what he was to that team, the way that he processes, he was the best player of the NBA. And obviously, when you have SGA and Jokic and they're neck and neck for the MVP, the NBA itself is better for it. It's just a matter of preference. Like, what's your style of basketball that you like? And I actually like watching SGA probably more than I like watching Jokic at times, because I like guard play, right? I like guys who can attack. But just to see Jokic carry that team, man, because Denver without Jokic is not good. And SGA, when he's not out there, they still have, like, Jalen Williams is competent and can play the point. You have their defense, because SGA is not their best defender. So even when SGA is out, they can play defense enough to where they can lock up opposing teams. Jokic, if he's off the floor, they're just simply fucked. And when he's hitting like 58-footers, throwing it in like it's a football, hitting Jerry Rice over the middle, it's impressive to watch. So Again, if you say SGA or Jokic on this one, I don't think that you're wrong in any capacity. So last thing I want to do before we get out of here is our preseason predictions and where we kind of landed. So this is always fun to do. All right, so will the Suns have any All-NBA players? I said 3. They'd have Booker, Durant, and then Dunn would be an all-rookie second team. You said 2. The Suns would have Booker and Durant on All-NBA teams. We were both very wrong. They ended with a grand total of 0. All defense, I said 0. You said 1. Devin Booker, fortifying your Bob Gunton Award winner, preseason Bob Gunton Award winner. Obviously, 0 was the answer there. All stars, I said 2, Booker and Durant. You said 2, Booker and Durant. They ended with 1. That was Kevin Durant. This was a fun topic. How many three-pointers would the Suns take? My preseason prediction was 3,311. Your preseason prediction was 3,697. They ended with 3,122. So I was closer. How far off was I? I was 189 off. You were like 400 off. What will the Suns' final record be? I said 53-29. You said 51-31. They were 36-46.
Oh.
You were closer there, Matthew. You were only like 15 off. 15.
Yeah, 15. That's crazy. Can you imagine if I went into the season and said, yeah, we're not going to make the playoffs or play in?
I'd be like, are you crazy, Matthew?
Everyone would be like, get off the pod.
Yeah, they're like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, it's almost like we have an article on Brightside where Brent Tannehill wrote about preseason grades, if you will. And she gave Jalen Green F, and everyone's blasting her. It's like, if you look at her, she's like a statistician for the CIA, and she'll write for Brightside every now and then. And she, if you look at like her past and what she's predicted in the past, she predicted this team was going to be ass. And everyone blasted her article last year when she was predicting. She's like, based on the models that I run, they're going to be shitty. She was absolutely correct. It's like, look at her track record.
She gave Jalen Green an F?
Oh, yeah, big time. Okay. Yeah, read that article. It's like 4,000 words. What seed will they be? I said 2. You said 5. They ended up being 11. Does Booker or Kevin Durant surpass Tom Chambers' 27.2 points per game record? I said yes, it'd be Devin Booker. You said no. You were right.
No.
Answer was no.
Nobody.
And then this one, I don't have anything logged for you, but what's your hot
take
for the NBA this season? And I said Josh Okogie would be traded. So for the Suns, I said Josh Okogie would be traded. Dunn will start more than he doesn't. Josh Okogie was traded, and then Ryan Dunn started 44 games and came off the bench in 30 games. So I was right there. And my NBA hot take was Brandon Ingram will be traded to the Grizzlies, where I was incorrect. He was traded to Toronto. Dallas will regress, which I was correct. And Pistons will make the playoffs, which I was correct. And I don't know where your shit is.
Well, no, I found mine. Mine was Luka Doncic would be traded to the Lakers.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Could you imagine? That'd be the one thing. If I did that, dude, they'd make me the Pope. They'd be like, this guy has to be the Pope now.
No, it'd be great. It'd be great if, like, in our preseason jammies, you're like, the Suns will miss the playoffs and the play-in, and Luka Doncic will be traded to the Lakers, and then that podcast would have like 2 million views. They're like, what is this guy? This guy is amazing.
I'll have to start doing that though.
But oh well, none of that happened. All right, well, anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here? Obviously, free agency starts tomorrow, 3 p.m. We'll be going live. What time do you want to go live tomorrow night?
I don't know, man. 7?
7 works.
Yeah.
So we'll go live with whatever happened. If anything major happens, like if Beal gets traded, I might do an emergency pod. We'll see how it goes. If you're available, do it. If not, whatever. But I highly doubt it'll happen. But yeah, so free agency, anything you're looking for from a free agent standpoint. Is there what's going to happen? All right, let's go Nostradamus. What's going on?
What's going to happen?
Mm-hmm. What's going to happen tomorrow in free agency / the trade market?
I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but my overall projections are, I think the whole LeBron thing's a big thing. I really think that he probably won't be on the Lakers next year. I think he plays 2 more years in the NBA, but I don't think he'll be a Laker. For the Suns, though, obviously it's a Beal thing, and what I want back and what I project to be back is just another point guard coming off the bench. So, you know what I mean? I don't think we're going to get much back, but it's going to be just a guy you can kind of rely on as a point guard coming off the bench.
Did you say free agency or Beal trade?
Oh, Beal trade. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think he'll be traded? You think he'll be traded?
I do.
I hope.
I do, but is it weird? Here I come, man. Like if he doesn't, it's like, is it the worst thing now? We still have Beal on the team. Like, I know it's weird with 3 guards, but we can't help it. I think the team's gotten better without Kevin Durant.
This is the way I look at it. This is how I think the Suns have to look at it. If you were to buy out Beal right now, it's going to cost you 5 years of cap restrictions, cap issues, dead cap money.
Yeah.
And he has to take less. So he has to agree to it, which is something that we don't really know. Now, that being said, Shams Charania says Miami Heat guard Duncan Robinson is declining his $20 million early termination option. So Duncan Robinson's looking to go on the move. So if you're the Suns, you have to weigh your option and go, okay, if we buy out Beal, it's going to hurt us financially long term. Dead cap, it's not favorable. But if you keep him, next year, you'll be able to straight up just waive and stretch him. And it would only be over 3 years. And it would be like whatever 57.3 divided by 3 is. I think it's like 19. 15 divided by 3. So it's 19.1 million that hits in dead cap space. So the Suns could try to trade him. If it doesn't work out, okay, dude, you're relegated to the bench. Next offseason, so yes, another year of Bradley Beal, but next offseason, he has an expiring contract, which could be easier to trade. And if that doesn't work out, then you waive and stretch him, and it only hurts you for 3 years versus 5 years, right? So that's kind of how they might be thinking. I wonder, I know that they said that they're not going to trade Jalen Green, but I wonder if they explore trading Jalen Green because I just don't see the fit yet. I know that like you're kind of bought into him. I know some other writers at Right Side of the Sun are. Like,
I mean, I think he has a good story, but if they were to trade him, I think it makes sense for the Suns to trade him if we're going to keep Beal. I don't think you keep him. I think you have to move Jalen Green. He has, obviously, there's a team out there like, you know what I mean, that looks at him as a sexier asset than a Bradley Beal. So I think you can get more back for Jalen Green. So I think it'd be smart. If you're rolling with Beal, it's like, hey, Booker's the point, and just leave it at that and just roll with that. Because I think Beal would have to be in the starting lineup if he comes back to make him happy and to make the team happy.
And I feel like Booker and Beal in the starting lineup, it was a negative last year, but it was positive the year before. Like it wasn't horrible the year before. It was you know,
we're gonna have to talk ourselves back into it again.
We might have to.
Yeah,
you know, and again, a reminder: if you are buying out Beal and then stretching his buyout, you can't do it for the full amount right now. He's at $110.8 million right now. So the lowest amount that he would have to accept and agree to in a buyout is $97 million, and then you could stretch that over 5 years and still be under the 15% cap hold that essentially you're not allowed to go over. So there's a decision that the Suns have to make. Do you negotiate with him down to 97, buy him out, stretch him for 5 years, or do you wait next year where you could just waive and stretch him because, 15% of what the cap will be next year, which is about 170 something million, is much less. So, I mean, again, options. And yeah, we might have to talk ourselves into Bradley Beal, or it's like Jalen, or we just roll with 3 shooting guards, right? We roll with, which is not preferable. Again, Colin Gillespie most likely be back in free agency. Expect the Suns to go and try to find a veteran minimum free agent. As of this moment, as of right now, we have 12 players on roster. We need 15. If you bring back Colin Gillespie on a non-two-way contract, then you only need 2 players, but you're still way over the apron. So there's a lot that needs to happen between now and then. Keep watching Suns Jam Session. Keep reading brightsideofthesun.com for updates. We appreciate everyone who's hanging out with us. Smash that thumbs up button if you happen to be here on YouTube. If you're not, oh well. If you're listening and you want to give us 5 stars, go for it. If not, oh well. But thank you for hanging out and watching the JAMMY Awards. And Matthew, if you're not too busy, oh shit, I'm going to sneeze. Tell him what to do.
Come over here.
I'm so glad I was muted for that. Oh man, those were.
Did you throw a woo in there?
Woo! I was like, woo! All right, let's get it.
Hey, you're listening to the Suns Jam Session podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.